Good evening. Here we are again on Virtual Pool 4 online, and we're here for Friday night 9 ball. And the plan is to go all the way tonight because I don't start my work till late tomorrow, so I can have a lie in. And well, the other thing is, it's going to be over fairly quickly because looking at the sign-ups, we only have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in, so it's going to be fairly quick. And well, it seems to be that a lot of people are maybe busy doing other things after Christmas and New Year. So we're about to go. It's just come to the top of the hour, and the bracket should be going up any second. The chat should be working hopefully this time. Remember, the last time we had a technical problem, not at my end. Everything was okay, or everything was telling me everything was okay, but the problem was with the Restream. That's the website that I use to be able to stream to all my channels. There was a technical hitch there, and I think it eventually got resolved. And there's no problems or no foreseeable problems at the moment. So we should be streaming live to YouTube, live to Twitch, live to Facebook, Mixer and Smashcast. Right, I think the brackets are up, the rooms are up, and the first match we're going to go into is going to be that match with Popman and Semi-Pro. Semi-Pro's already in the room, Popman's thinking about it. There's going to be a handicap. Remember, Friday night 9 ball is a handicap tournament. It's a money ball handicap, and we'll pop in and get ready for that one to go. Now, if you're out there, if there happens to be anybody stumbled across the stream, please say hello. That at least lets me know that the chat is working and everything should be running okay. I'll just check my little doodle. Check it's working. Hang on a minute. Right, that's fine. We are good to go. Maybe Popman's got distracted. We could be in here waiting and he forgets to turn up. Oh, good evening. At least YouTube's working. Welcome aboard. Popman should be getting, let me think, he should be getting maybe 7 and out or something like that. That's probably somewhere in the region of the handicap might get. He might just be getting a 7 ball. That would be a wee bit more of a challenge, but it should be round about that, I'm thinking, unless Popman's handicaps, sorry, not his handicap, unless his rating suddenly jumped in the last week or two, but it's probably going to be there or thereabouts. That's provided he turns up. I mean, he's only got 5 minutes to get in the room. This might end up being a no-go to start with here. I'll have a quick drink. Well, here we go. He's in at last. And, well, as a matter of fact, player 1 in the HUD is Popman, and he's getting a 5 ball, so that is a bit more generous. Popman is a 2000 rated player, Semi-Pro at 2300. I don't know who was lagging where there, but the nearest one has won it, and that is Popman, so he's going to have the break. So a quick reminder, the 5 ball is Popman's extra money ball. If he can pot that ball with a legal shot at any point during the rack, he will win the rack. Now the 8 ball, sorry, the 7 ball has gone. Now you can cut that 1 ball, and without trying to do anything ambitious, you can bring the cue ball over to about there and cut that to, now I don't know what he tried there. It certainly was nowhere near a pot. And I think Semi-Pro is going to be unlucky here. He's got himself tied up in knots. A really tight hook behind that 6 ball. And he's going to have to go either up and down over the 6 or 2 rails. Short rail, long rail on the left side, and maybe even 3 rails off the top rail. Well, the only thing in Semi-Pro's favour here is the fact the 5 ball's blocked off by the 9, but it could end up being a 5-9 combo. So Potman should have no problem potting the 3, the 2, the 3 and the 4. It's what he ends up doing on that 5. Now he should already have made his mind up what he's going to do. He basically needs to, well, first of all he has to pot the 2 ball. That was really poor. Ball in hand, and he can't get the 2 ball in the hole. He ain't going to win many racks if he starts that sort of carry on early on, because that's just handing a free go to Semi-Pro. Not what you want to be doing. And the 5 ball is now a wee bit more in play. And Semi-Pro, let's have a look and see what angle he's got. Well, he's a bit straight here. And he's going to try and draw over, just drop behind the 5, and that's pretty good. And this first rack should be over. And, well, Potman's going to have to really get his head screwed on. You cannot miss a ball with ball in hand. That's certainly one way to dig a hole for yourself. So Semi-Pro is off and running. Now this tournament is winner breaks. And the notable absentee tonight is Larry from the US, who, well, the last time I seen him, he was playing the one-loss side match in the Cowboy World Championship, and I can't remember who he was playing. It was Interchangex, I think, in the semi-final, and Larry lost the final rack decider in that match, and he lost it in the worst possible way you can in Cowboy. He lost it in 3 fouls, and it was so much of a shock I didn't even notice. And then we had the final, which Interchangex and Baker Maker, both of them from the States, they arranged that for last Monday night, which, well, it actually was early Tuesday morning my time, which was unfortunate because Tuesday is a work day for me, and they had actually arranged it to start like 9 PM, I think it was East Coast time, something like that, and it kicked off at 2 AM on Tuesday morning my time, and I was in bed at the time. And when I woke up at 4 AM, I remembered that the final was on, so I switched the PC on, popped in and saw the last 4 minutes of the match, and Baker Maker won the match. The final was a race to 4 and he won it 4-0. So he was a worthy winner, because he, as I said on the video, he gave me a pasting. And poor old Interchange X didn't get a look in, and neither has Popman in this match so far. The first one he gifted the chance to Semi-Pro, and Semi-Pro's run out this one, and it's 2-0. Five ball, top left hand corner. Absolutely no shot for Semi-Pro, so he's just going to go long. So the push out played. Popman can either play from there or he can put Semi-Pro back in. But if you're going to play from there, you're going to have to keep it safe. And it would have been a much better shot if he hadn't run into the two. And Semi-Pro will go thin. Well, he was the most consistent player in the tournament. Every time he visited the table, or most of the times he was getting, 20 odd, 30 odd runs. And that's what you need to be consistent. Well, put it this way, he was more consistent than everybody else in it, myself included. Now, can Popman run this table, because the 5 ball is gone, so his extra money ball has gone. I've never seen anything that Baker Maker posted. Is this on YouTube or something? And all he needs to do is roll the 5 in and not hook himself behind the 7. Mr. 9 Ball won the 9 Ball Shooters Pool tournament that was playing. There's a bad miss in the 3. And that's the thing that Popman can't do. Well, under watch, that's where the whole final is on. That gets posted automatically. So it does. Well, there's a mistake from Semi-Pro. So here's Popman's second chance here to win a rack. Yeah, big tournaments, the finals automatically posted, recorded and posted. Now with this shot, again, he doesn't need to do an awful lot. Just a soft little draw off the 7, not too much. Just to leave a decent angle in that 8, and that's perfect. So it's all just about weight here. A little bit, maybe a wee feather of right English, just to push that cue ball back out to the right slightly. That is perfect. So Popman, unless he does something unbelievably stupid. Well, that's what I was guessing when I joined the match at the very end. That although it was 3-0 at the time, Cowboy could be head, what do you call it again? Hill all the way in each match, and that is, just a run of the ball or a good outshot that wins you. It could have been 3-all and then a final rack decider. Mind you, it would have probably been on to about 8 o'clock in the morning our time. So Popman's got himself off the mark. He's redeemed himself by actually getting a second go at winning that second rack. Now, now that I've at least got 2 viewers here watching, time to explain the little logo in the top right hand corner, just in case you don't know. The Qatar, originally the 9-Ball World Championships in the UK was actually streamed and broadcast by Sky Sports a good number of years ago when it was in its infancy. And back in the day when they were trying to get interest in 9-Ball on TV over here, they had players like Steve Davis and Jimmy White and Alec Higgins and players like that were invited to play in the 9-Ball World Championships to create the spectator interest. And then for whatever reason, Sky either didn't renew the rights to it or they lost the rights to it, and it went to the Qatar Billiards and Snooker Federation, and it had been with them for the past few years, but not knowing an awful lot of detail about it, their coverage of the tournament was extremely poor, to say the least. For 1 year it was actually excellent, because Kazum, who are a streaming company, they were broadcasting about 8 or 9 tables from that championship. They only did it once, which was free, and then coverage from the Qatar TV company was really narrowed down to just the semi-finals and finals that were shown on TV, I believe. And unless you could find a Qatari sports channel, which I eventually did, you would never get to see it. So basically, the WPA, or the World Pool Association, I think that's who are the main, well, how many bloody official companies are there, or official versions of pool are there? But anyway, WPA is one, and I think they sent an ultimatum to this Qatar Billiards and Snooker Federation to get their act together. And from what I read on Dave Knight's post on Facebook, Dave Knight has a web page on Facebook all about 9-Ball and all the tournaments that are on. And well, there's a mistake again from Popman, another gift for semi-pro. And Dave Knight had posted that the Qatar Billiards and Snooker Federation never got back to the WPA. So as of then, the WPA pulled the plug on the rights to show the World 9-Ball Championships. And then I thought to myself, when I read that post, I thought, well, anybody with an ounce of common sense knows who should end up getting the rights to this to be able to give it good coverage, and do good broadcasting of it, and that would be Matchroom Sports. Under the leadership of Barry Hearn, Matchroom Sports, in case anybody doesn't know, they run the PDC Darts World Championship. They do a number of snooker events, and predominantly they have run the Mosconi Cup for goodness knows how many years. But now they have the rights to the World 9-Ball Championships, which is great news. And it will be held, as you can see in the top right, from October the 14th to the 18th this year. When I read the post, the venue is still to be announced. It might be Alexander Palace or something like that down in London. Mind you, it depends on how big a venue they need as to how many tables they'll have. They might have 16 tables, so it'll need to be a big venue. But I can guarantee you we'll get much better coverage. You'll be able to find it on a stream somewhere, and they'll do a far better job on it than what that Qatari mob were doing. They shot it down in flames. So if you're into watching 9-Ball and watching the best players in the world, there'll be women in it as well, according to Barry Hearn. The women will get a chance to play in it. Whether any of them will get very far is a bit doubtful, but it'll be much more worth watching when it comes round, so that's something to look forward to. Meanwhile, Semi-Pro, well, he's doing Potman a favour. He's hung up the 3, and this time Potman has only got to pot the 3 and that 4 ball, which is very adjacent. And as long as he gets the cue ball out and gets a little bit of draw on it, he can draw away from the 5 and sink the 5 to get himself back within 1. Now the angle he's got, this is just a simple stun. Stun the 4 in, the cue ball has to get up the table. So back to within 1. And with the break. And rack number 6. Wee minute, I get this thing. Never even looked to see what the bracket was. Spectre Don's running away with his match. He's already 5-2 up. So Potman's break. The 6 ball has gone down. He had no shot in the 1. Chose to try and play the combo and has scratched and has left Semi-Pro with ball in hand for a 1-9 combo. It's not set, so he's going to have to make it. Yeah. He didn't get a good read at that. It was a wee bit awkward. But it's awkward now for Potman. He can cross bank this one. That's probably the easier shot than trying to get a line on it to pot it in the middle. But he's going to have to just drop it in dead weight. If he cross banks it, he'd be running up and down the table. And now we've left a long combo. A 1-4 combo. Just drop this in and no more and keep that 1 ball near the corner pocket. Well, Semi-Pro chose to play it with a bit more pace. And doing it that way, you've got no idea where the 1 ball's going. You're just relying on leaving yourself a shot. Now, everything is there for Potman, especially where the 4 ball is, because if he gets this 3 and 4 ball, and he only needs to, I think with the shot he's got here, he has to go up the table off that top rail, back down and back up. He can't hold for the 3, can he? Well, he's done well. I didn't think he could hold it. And now he's got to back himself here. And he doesn't want to be trying to stun this in too hard, this 3 ball. But if he can get that shot in the 4. Now, again, he can either drop it in dead weight and leave the 5 ball long, or go around the angles. Dead weight is the solution, and an easy roll in the 5 to square the match. So rack number 7. Potman breaking off. Nothing doing, but all the balls wide open. Now, this is awkward because of the angle that Semi-Pro's got in the 1. He's going to have to maybe slam the 1 in, stun onto the side rail and try and drop down. Well, he's trying to hold it, but it's an awkward line to try and hold, because he's now left himself the high cut in the 2. Well, he's still okay. I think he's slightly wrong side of the 3. No, he's fine. I think he can just roll through. Leave that 4 down the rail. No, deciding he wants it in the middle. Well, that's an awful lot more effort. He didn't need to do that. He could have just rolled it through. And now he's the wrong side of the 4. He's got plenty of room to go up the table, but he's not risking that either, so he's content to leave a long cut in the 5. This is a bit risky. Well, it wiped its feet. It's gone in. I think he's just going to hold on there. Again, just a slightly awkward angle, but not an awful lot to do. And it should be the run out for Semi-Pro to go back into the lead by 1. Four ball. I thought it was tracking at the corner. The spin took it away. No joy on the break. A thin cut down the rail. Cue ball should be back over to the left hand side for at least a sight on the 2. But again, I think he has to hit this with too much pace. The cue ball's going to go across the table twice. Yeah. Now if it keeps running, he's going to have a shot. And that'll do. That's all you're asking for. At least get a sight on the 2. Now, with this shot here, he can go forward with just a tiny feather of left. Not an awful lot, maybe not even any, but just to get himself up the table and out. Well, he's went with inside. He's got a wee bit more on it than he probably needed. But now, he can drop in behind a 9 ball, I think. I think he can avoid hitting it. As long as he doesn't stun the 3 in. If he just runs it in and lets the natural angle take its course, he should be on the 4, either into that middle or playing it long into this bottom right hand corner as we look. Oh dear. Well, you see, that's the thing. You have to be sure that you're going to get there. And he needed a wee feather of right. Any wee feather of right English on there, he would never have been anywhere near the 8 ball. And that is a rookie mistake. You've got to see that happening. And you can easily take evasive action. He's had to dig out the jump cue to rescue himself. But he's going to have to do something good here, because this has got to be nailed right on the edge of that 5 if he's going to cut it to win this rack. It has to be flush or it won't go. Oh, he's got it really flush. That was perfect. And that has rescued it. And that squares the match again. Well, he got himself out of trouble. I'll give him that one. But he shouldn't have been in the trouble in the first place. So, Potman in rack number 9 has come up dry, I think. Just roll the 1 to the 3 for Semi-Pro. And the problem ball is the 6 ball. That one there. Obviously it can be played as a combo. But where that 5 ball is, if he plays it from this side, he could just drop in behind the 6. But he's got to avoid the traffic here with this 2 ball. The angle he's got is not great. And he's stunned into the 6, which has brought it into open play. And once again, Semi-Pro is nowhere near good on this 4 ball to have a good shot in this 5. He's digging down. This is risky. Yeah, that's asking an awful lot. And that's a gift for Potman. Ball in hand, roll the 4 in the opposite corner and roll the 5 in for the lead. Now here's hoping for his sake he's paying attention. Now, am I falling asleep here or what? Did I miss something? Let me get rid of that. I thought he had ball in hand there. Or was I just not paying attention? You know the problem is this is blocking the HUD at the top. I'm going to get rid of it. Hang on. That's better. Good evening. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I totally lost the place where I was there. Anyway, Potman's hooked. Trying to just clip that 4. And it's definitely ball in hand. It wasn't a foul shot. For some reason I thought it was. Yeah, aye, but the thing is what was puzzling me there was, I don't know why I seemed to think that that Semi had actually played a foul. Something in my brain as I was watching it was telling me he'd played a foul shot. But anyway, Spectre Dawn. Well, there was a little bit of a comeback there from Stefan, but Spectre Dawn has won that first round match by 7 racks to 5. And a reminder, there's only like 7 players in this tournament, so it's going to be over fairly rapidly. But it is double elimination. And Potman, well, he's got his work to do here because we can see that the 8 is blocked by the 9. He wants to drop down that left-hand side, but he needed to put a bit of English on there to square that cue ball up. See, the thing is, when you play a shot like that into there and the cue ball's going that way, you have to put inside, and let me think from that point of view, inside right it would be, which it actually stops the cue ball going that direction as much. It straightens the cue ball so it would go down that line and then he would have a shot in the 8. But he didn't play it, he let the cue ball run away. And there's these little things that you need to be able to play, or at least be brave enough to play them, to try and create that straight line by the cue ball rather than let it follow its tangent, which is far too far over to the left. It's one way of, you know, getting yourself in better position. And Potman, well, he gave that chance away again there. As long as he had the pace right and had the English right, he should have dropped down with at least a sight on that 8 ball. And he's let it get away. Yeah, he didn't have a good angle. But when you don't have that good angle and you can still pot the ball, then you put the inside English on it to straighten the cue ball off this bottom rail. It stops the cue ball escaping over to the left as we look. It straightens it up more towards the middle, but still going over to the left. Hence giving you at least a better sight of the 8 ball. I mean, what else was he going to do? If he was going to let it run over to the left off the rail and away down the table, the best he could have hoped to get was a combo in the 8 and 9. But the 8 ball was open from the left-hand side, and, you know, most players, if they know what they're doing, would have went to play it from the left side. Well, maybe it had more angle on it than I thought, but at least that's the shot you should have attempted to play rather than just letting the cue ball run. Because all you're doing is hoping that you get up there and leave yourself some sort of a combo. You can't play pool just hoping all the time. And a lot of players do that. You know, they're hoping to get a shot. They're hoping to do this. You've got to play the right shots. Or at least endeavour to play the right shot to get there. you've got to work out your problems and try and execute the shot. But anyway, it's over and done with. It's Semi-Pro in the lead, 5 racks to 4. Popman again with an easy chance, and he's blown that one. I mean, again, why not just play the angle so that you get the possible double bank? Because the worst that was going to happen there is he was going to knock the 8-ball in. And that's another chance gone a-begging. And I think he might have been probably easier playing the 5 onto the 8 there, directly, instead of banking it. Because, I mean, the 8-ball would have had to go in, surely. I don't think that's going to go. Oh, it is just going to go. It must have been closer to the pocket than I thought, because I thought it was just going to cut that into the rail there. Now, Semi-Pro, lots of right English spinning behind the 9. And this will take him on the hill, but I think he's dead straight. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's going to have to dig in it. And he's got there almost. And Semi-Pro, well, given another help yourself by Popman there, and he's now within 1 of winning this match, breaking off in rack number 11. The 8-ball goes in, and no shot in the 1, just to push out. Or if he wants, he can try jumping the 2 and hoping he gets lucky. Well, he's going to jump. Now, yet another opportunity for Popman. But his problem starts immediately here. Ball in hand to pot the 1. Now, how does he get on that to have any sort of shot? Well, forget that side. And this side, he's going to have to cut it high. He's going to have to play a bedhead shot on this 2-ball. Oh dear. That's going to spin into the hole. Well, again, it's another disaster from Popman with ball in hand. I mean, missed a shot in the first rack with ball in hand on, was it the 2-ball or the 1-ball in the top right hand corner pocket? Couldn't get it in the hole there. And then somehow manages to find a way to scratch from ball in hand. And that is just knocking nails into your coffin, I'm afraid. I mean, that's again with that shot there. He shouldn't have been coming down the left-hand side for a start. He should have been going over that direction to leave himself the high bedhead cut like that. At least gives himself a chance. And then if he had, well, that's all in the past. It will be in a minute or two. Little gentle drop, not too much, but just enough to leave an angle on that 6 to drop down onto the 7. And that's perfect. Now, you don't want to let this cue ball run. You want to stun it down onto the 7. I think he's okay. Off the side railing out. 9-ball into the right middle. And so Semi-Pro wins this first round match by 7 racks to 4. We'll have a look at the bracket and see what that means. And Popman is going to have to work his way through the 1-loss side. The only good thing about that is he's not going to have many people to meet on there with the amount that's in the tourney tonight. So, Well, we know what match we're going to watch now. That's obvious. It's going to be Spectre Dawn and Semi-Pro again. Pardon me, my dinner's coming back on me. Magic won his match. I never saw that result coming through, but he won his match against John Boo by 7 racks to 2. And he's waiting to play the winner of Semi-Pro and Spectre Dawn. Now, whoever wins that match is going to be given a hefty handicap to this guy. And meanwhile, on the one-loss side, we have Potman playing Stefan to see who's going to play John Boo. So we'll wait until... in fact, the room is up. Now... Semi-Pro is in it. Spectre Dawn hasn't joined it yet, but we'll get in. Now this match should probably be a scratch match between these two. I think they're fairly similarly rated, so I don't think there'll be anything given. I'm just thinking there about that Pool World Championship. If there's 124 players in it, or 128, which there probably will be, seeing as it's run by Matchroom, that's a heck of a lot of matches to get through in 4 days. Anyway, we're ready for the lag. Both players are in. I haven't a clue who's who. I'm guessing that's Spectre Dawn on the far side. Semi-Pro nearest us. Well, if that was Semi-Pro on the right hand side, yeah, that was a disaster of a lag. He wants to get practicing with the lag. That was awful. That was barely past the middle pocket. Yeah, he certainly hasn't had his Weetabix today. Well, that 9 ball, that is going to mean it's going to be a quick rack, because look at where the 2 ball is. Let's have a look. In fact, now when you look at the 9 ball, it's not very handy there. It's going to be an 8-9 combo if it comes to it. But Spectre Dawn has to drop onto that 2 ball on the left hand side, if anything. Oh, he's gone right. And, well, he's just managed to hold it. Got the pace right, still got the cut. And we know the 2 ball goes in the corner, no problem. But it's more than likely going to be the 8-9 combo. And looking at the HUD, it is a scratch match, so no handicap. He could be playing the 5 into the middle. Yep, just a roll through. And it's going to be all over within like a minute, this first rack. And a combo that you cannot miss. Well, 1-0 to Spectre Dawn. And a dry break. And, well, an extremely thin edge on this 1 ball might tuck it away. But, he's got to get lucky to get anywhere on this 2 ball. He's going to drop behind it. Now, is he going to drop behind it enough? No, that'll do it. The only problem with that, though, is the 3 ain't going into this bottom corner pocket, or this top one, as we look from the other end. A little draw round the corner. And still got a problem to deal with here. the wrong angle on the 3. It's a tight cut into that middle. And he's going to try and drop over somewhere near the 8 ball. If he's cutting it in the middle. Well, is he going to be able to get to it? Yes, he is. Well, that was a very narrow margin there to have a decent shot in the 4. And that's pretty nigh perfect. Just draw off the 4. Oh, he's got too much juice into that. And this time, I don't think he can get to the potting angle. No, he can't. Now, how does he keep this safe? Is he going to try and spin around the 6 slightly? With a bit of a spin. Well, he's played a little gentle jump. That was a good shot. A little delicate jump shot there. That worked out very nice. He needs to watch the scratch here though. Because this is a cut back into this middle pocket. Oh, he's well away from the scratch. It was thin enough to prevent that danger. And this is the awkward one. Plenty of room on the right hand side. And the 8 ball is off the rail, which makes it a wee bit easier. Well, the plan here would just stop the cue ball stone dead. Looks as if he's running through. And that's the danger there. He's in no man's land. Pick a pocket. It's either middle or top. And watch the cue ball though. Cue ball's fine, and in it goes. So a strong response from Semi-Pro after losing that first rack. The run out ties the match back up. That's a good enough break, but the balls are all going around the table and then all going upward. We've got the 3 and 9 stuck in the right hand side rail, and we've got a cluster of balls on the left. The 1 ball's going nowhere. And Spectre Dawn has buried Semi-Pro. He's got the kick onto the 5. Got to find that gap between the 7 on the 1, sorry, got to find the gap, and he has done nicely. A fairly narrow gap between the 7 and the 5. Now, if that 1 was a wee bit further off the rail, he could have billiarded off the 1 onto the 5, but it's not far enough out. Well, the 1 will definitely go now. I think if he just catches enough of it, it'll drop in. Yeah. Well, interesting now to see what Spectre Dawn decides here, because he can pot the 5 and he can drop onto this 3 ball on the right hand rail, so he's going to play the 3-9 combo. Let's have a look. They're pretty much the same distance off the rail. The 3's a wee bit further away, but he's pretty much set here. Yep, in it goes. So another quick rack puts Spectre Dawn back into the lead. And it's deja vu here for Semi-Pro. Spectre Dawn breaking off in rack number 4. And yet another dry break. And no shot for Semi-Pro. He can catch a feather edge of the 1. Looking for distance, and he hasn't got the cover, and it's a free go for Spectre Dawn, just around the corner with the cue ball, 2 into the middle, and if he's got a decent enough angle, which he has, he can just stun down for the 3 into that top right hand corner. Didn't quite get into that with enough juice. He's left himself short. And he's got the high cut. Cue ball running very close to the 9. Now, can he avoid that 9 ball? No, he couldn't. I think he actually tried to possibly combo the 9 in at the same time there. Well, he's got a shot, albeit an awkward one, but he's going to at least have a shot in a 5 if he drops this in. And now the table is wide open, so it looks very likely here, provided Spectre Dawn can get this 5 in. Oh, he's overdone it. He's overdone it. Overcut it. And he's... Well, Spectre Dawn has left Semi-Pro hook. Now, Semi-Pro played a nice gentle little jump shot early on. I don't know whether that's in a convenient place to be able to play that again. But he's played not a bad safety. If you can't get the cover, get the distance. That's the rule. Spectre Dawn will do well to keep this safe. Trying to play it to the side rail, side to side, looking for cover. He's played it well, judged the pace well. He hasn't got a full snooker, I don't think, but there's certainly nothing doing here for Semi-Pro. And he in turn has found good weight. He's got good cover. And watch for this 5 ball going into that middle pocket if he gets the kick right here. Got it too full. Has he got it safe? Well, that's tough. That is extremely tough. It's not quite on the rail. There's enough room for manoeuvre, and Semi-Pro has picked it out very nicely indeed. Now, how about that for a kiss off the 7? That's landed perfect on the 6. A little drop through off the rail for that 7 into the opposite middle. Now, is he going to check this cue ball to bring the cue ball back out, or is he going to go behind it 8? What's the answer? He's just trying to drop it dead weight into a slightly blind pocket. Always a wee bit dodgy, but he's perfect. So it's going to be all square. It's tit for tat here early on in this match. Both players have came up with the answers twice to have the match all square at 2-all. But once again, it's a dry break, and I keep reminding people we have we not only have spot money on, which means if the money ball goes down in the break, it gets respotted, but we also have rack money on, and that means that where the head ball of the diamond sits towards us when you see the break off, the actual 9 ball is moved on to that head spot. So the actual whole diamond is moved up the table. That's what rack money means. And that means that these guys are breaking from a point where they don't normally break. Most of the time, when any of these guys play 9 ball in a challenge room or anything like that, they probably forget to go into the advanced settings and put rack money on. So they just play it as a normal rack. So when you're actually breaking the balls do break differently, and we do get an awful lot of dry breaks. I can't remember a ball going down in the break. Maybe we had one very early on in this match, but all the rest of them have been dry. Spectre Dawn playing the jump escape, but he's scratched. He's given the ball in hand, and well, they are all there for the taking. There's no clusters, there's nothing locked up. It's just dropping through onto this 3. Well, he could have done Wigan through another couple inches there. He's maybe going to brush into this 7, and that's always a danger. Well, he's just using the 7 to kill the pace. Played it nicely. And enough angle there just to drop through onto the 5. Well, it looks here, provided Semi-Pro can get from this 6 ball back up to the 7, that he's well on his way to going into the lead. Plenty of margin of error, just playing a big draw shot. As long as he's leaving himself a sighter, he's got a good angle. He can go both ways here. He can come down the left hand side or come back over the right hand side. He's come back over the right. And how's his angle? No, this is now awkward again. He's closer to the rail than he would like, and he's going to have to work into the cue ball here. Just getting past the middle pocket, leaving the higher angle cut. Well, you'd expect him to get this 10 out of 10. But this for the lead. Well, this is exactly the time you want to get a ball to break and maybe get a run out possibly. It would be the perfect time for Semi-Pro with a 3-2 lead and the break. Now, a reminder as well that the although the tournament isn't named as such, but it should be the 8 ball bar table World Championships. That tournament is now open for sign-ups in Virtual Pool 4. Spectre Dawn trying a long combo in the 9 there. I believe it starts the 7th of February, and it's on the pit stop table, I believe, which is just a 7-foot table. I don't know how many have signed up for it because I haven't looked yet. But whenever you play a full 15 racks on that bar table, the table looks really busy. Spectre Dawn, sorry, not Spectre Dawn, Semi-Pro is the current champion of that event. So he'll be signing up to defend his title, no doubt, if he hasn't done so already. Dead weight, again, just roll the 3 to the 5. As long as the 3 hits the 5, it's going to drop in. Well, it looks already that Spectre Dawn is going to tie this match back up in a minute or two. Now, you don't want to be getting cute over on the right hand side of the table here, because strange things happen. Could easily hook himself behind the 8 or the 9. Found a space. Now, what is the plan here? Well, he's quite happy to just roll this 8 into the middle. Got to get to that far jaw. If he goes anywhere near that first point, he's going to miss it, but he's okay. And a little roll in, and we're tied again at 3 racks all. Well, the good news is that Oh, what a break that was. All the balls seemed to die at the top end of the table. Still a dry break, having said that. In fact, they all died that it was an illegal break. That's what sometimes happens in VP4. I always found that if you broke too far from the left or the right, you would get one of those sort of dead breaks where the balls just don't seem to want to run. But that's exactly what happened there. 4 balls, or 4 balls in the cue ball or whatever it is, didn't get to a rail. And it's given Semi-Pro ball in hand with a chance to take the lead. Now, there is a slight problem here. The slight problem being having to come down for this 6 ball. So he needs some sort of angle on that 5 to make sure he can get up the table or down the table as we look. And he's got the angle. So it's all about pace. Does he want to run too far so he takes the 6 into the right middle? Or does he want to hold it short? He's going to hold it short. Now, the ideal shot here with this 7 ball is to run it in and run through so that he can come up. So it depends on what angle he leaves himself. Well, he's going to just draw off it, kill it, as long as he comes up the table far enough. Though the important thing here is coming up far enough to get on this 8. If he doesn't, he's going to leave himself a bit of a problem to deal with. Well, goodness knows what the hell he was planning there. That was certainly not my way of thinking. Well, this is ended up with no shot. Well, he's got an easy snooker as long as he can marry the cue ball to the 9 and as long as he can get that 8 ball to the rail. But other than that, he's got no other shot unless he tries an elaborate cut here. Yeah, that was asking a lot. What a shot. But you don't want to have to play them. He's going to have to play another one though. Is it all out for the cut or is it the bank? And he's got it. Well, he found a hard way of doing it. Let's just say that. But he's got himself back into the lead. Well, the 8 ball was the same as the, it was the same table in the same tournament as the previous one we had. And it is a crowded table, and it does put a lot of emphasis on being able to manoeuvre the cue ball. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who think they'll have a chance on it, but it's a tough ask playing 8 ball in the bar table. It requires an awful lot more cue ball control. And you've got very narrow margins on that table. So, Semi-Pro back into the lead. Found the hardest way to run out that last rack, but managed to get there somehow or other. That's a good shot. Well, he's going to need another better one here because he's got a straight in 2. He's got no shot in the 3, I don't think. Absolutely no shot, but you can certainly have Semi-Pro in a bit of bother. Well, this will be a cracker if he can get on that 3. What a shot. There's a shot of the night. That is... can he get the angle on it? I think he can... No, I don't think he can. He's too tight to the 8. That was unlucky, but what an effort to get on that 3. Well, I think this time there'll be no doubt that Semi-Pro will be playing the little jump. If that had just nudged that 8 ball out the way, he'd have been able to cut that 3 down the rail. Spectre Dawn. And the little jump played by Semi-Pro. Needs a very thin one on the 4. Plenty of room to get in the 5, but he's cut it into the rail. Has he got lucky? No, he hasn't. And this looks straight away like 4 racks all. Oh, where's the cue ball? Where's the cue ball going? In behind the 6, that's where it's going. Well, all of a sudden, it ain't looking like 4 all. An easy kick. He needs a bit more luck to get this in the hole though. Well, it's not a bad effort and almost got it safe, but that will cut. Now, semi-pro has to avoid hitting the 9 ball, whatever he does. Well, he's hit it, but he's hit it half ball and it's landed him perfect in the 6. Little bit of rub of the green there is what you need. If he'd hit that full in the face, he'd have been left square onto that 6 with no shot other than a bank. And that's a bit too much spin. And he's in perfect bedhead territory here with a 7 ball. The old high cut of the bank. Well, the obvious shot here is a draw. If you get too much juice into this and spin off that rail, you can get across into the middle. He's under hit it by quite a way, and it's going to have to be the very thin cut again. But this to open up the gap. Oh dear, well I think that went in the pocket and out. Did everything but drop in. But it didn't go. And now it is 4 racks all. And that's all from that 8 ball. Semi-pro just didn't get enough meat into that shot to get that cue ball moving. And we're just asking too much to get that pretty flush 9 ball along the rail. Did everything but get into the pocket. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn has broke off in rack number 9, and guess what? It's another dry break. Well, I would say straight away here that Spectre Dawn will be looking to stun the 1 ball and stun onto the 7. No, not risking it. Looking for cover. The gentle combo, the cue, but the 1 ball trying to escape, but he's still on it. Going to have to run up that right hand side. It needs to slow down. It needs to slow. And he's gone into the no man's land territory again. And he's... Well, that 4 ball can just be cheated into that corner pocket, I think. Now, what's he planning here? Trying to bank that into the corner, maybe get the double bank. This is all or nothing, this shot. And that's going too square, but it's going safe, which is the most important thing. Now, well, that shot that that Semi played on the 8 ball, again, it had a huge margin of error. The only risk with that shot is if you get too much juice into it quickly off that side rail, you can easily dart it over into the middle pocket on the right hand side. But he chose to play a more controlled shot, but left himself short, asking himself an awful lot to do again with the thin cut. And sure enough, as it's been proved loads of times, and Bedhead will testify to it, every time you leave yourself these high angle cuts, you're going to miss them at some point. They don't all go in. And more often than not, you get caught out by cutting to the rail or hanging it in the jaws. That's true. You know it. Semi-pro. Again, barring an extreme accident, an extreme unfortunate event, is going to be 5-4 in front with the break. And I don't think there's been... Was it 2-0 at the beginning? I can't remember now. It seems that long ago, but I don't think there's been 2 racks between these guys. I think it's been pretty much neck and neck all the way. And are we going for another dry break? Yes, we certainly are, I think. Yep, it's bone dry with no shot for Spectre Dawn. Once again, looking to try and put this cue ball somewhere to play it safe. Yeah, I think leaving half of it shown is about the best you could ask for here. Just push to the 2. Aye, pushing to the 3 wouldn't be bad either, because I don't think the 3's going past, the 1's going past the 8. No. Now, this is the shot I'd play here would be to cut that 1 to there, send it to there, and get it down somewhere in here, and that's exactly what Semi-Pro was thinking. You couldn't get it safer than that. That is straight out the 9ball.com manual of safety shots. And it's so safe that Spectre Dawn could not see that 1 ball. It was actually invisible to him. That is how safe that shot was. And meanwhile, Popman is doing it the hard way. He's won a final rack decider against Stefan on the 1 loss side. And Semi-Pro now has ball in hand. And he's going to have to cut his losses here. Pot this 1, come down and leave the 2-7 combo. And once again, he's way short. I mean, he had 4 foot of table to work with here, and he's left it way short to make any reasonable attempt at this combo. He should have been right down looking straight at this 2 ball. And this has made his life 10 times harder. In fact, so much so that he's not even risking it. And, well, Spectre Dawn might try and just jump this. It's dangerous because the cue ball could go off the table, but he would certainly expect to make a good attempt at potting this 2 ball. He certainly can't see it, but he's lining up the jump. The other thing is the cue ball's going over to the right hand side, and he's actually overcut it. And is it going to be safe? No, it isn't. Or is it? Well, no prizes for guessing what's going to happen here. I think this calls for a half ball cut here when the jump. So I hit it that way, so the cue ball goes that way and hopefully comes out here somewhere. But he's looking to kick it in. Well, I don't know why he didn't risk the jump, because he's now just teed it up here to give Spectre Dawn a shot. Now, what does he do? Try and drop the left-hand side of the 3? No, he's going around the corner, trying to leave the combo. And that's where, that is exactly where Semi-Pro should have been 2 minutes ago. That's where he should have been looking at this 3 ball. Can't see a problem here. I'm looking for one, but I don't see one. Just a drop in, or he could actually, I don't know whether he wants to risk running back across, but he's got the wrong angle on it, but he is running over with a wee bit of inside for the 9 into the same pocket, and now we're tied up again at 5 racks all. And are we going to see a ball in the break tonight? It's been that long ago since I've seen one, I don't know what one looks like. Well, we've certainly got a ball in the break. We've got 2 or 3 balls in the break, including the 9 ball. And we've gone from a drought to a flood of pocketed balls in the break. And the only thing about that was Spectre Dawn never had a shot. 9 ball gets respotted. Semi-pro, I don't think can see much of this 1 ball. Well, he's played the jump. Has he got lucky? And the answer to that is he certainly has. I don't think there's any more awkward a place he could have ended up with that 1 ball, but he'll settle for that. And now we're going to get the tip-tap routine for 20 minutes. Yeah, that's a much better shot. I still think Spectre Dawn is going to line up to cut this though. No, there's a surprise. Going for distance, trying to use that run of balls there for cover. Hasn't quite got it, but he could be in bother in a second or two, because if Semi can get this thin on that left edge and get the spin into the cue ball, he should be away up there in the long grass. The worst possible outcome is a scratch. And he's tucked it behind the 7. If it slows up, and that is not bad. It's not difficult to hit it. In fact, he can catch the edge of it. If he gets this too thin, he'll run into the 2. Well, that's a mistake. Semi-pro, I think, can get to the edge of that 1 to make the cut. And he doesn't want to hook himself behind a 5 if this cue ball runs up the table. He doesn't want to hook himself behind a 5. Well, it's definitely going to be a little jump again, is it? Out with the jump stick. Oh, he sent it to the jaws, but he's got away with it. Well, again, the safe shot is cut that 2 onto there, back into here, and send that cue ball up there. Try and hide it. Well, he's went the other way. He's got the cover. Now, is this cue ball's right on the cushion, more or less. Now he's going to try and jump it and cut it again. And this time it's worked out, and he's a nice kiss in that 5. And that hasn't really helped him. Now, is it the cross double up and down with the cue ball, or is it the thin cut down the rail? It's anybody's guess. It looks like the thin cut down the rail. And in it goes. Cue ball needs to keep running. And that isn't that bad. got to have a shot in the 8 after this. Oh, that's too gentle. Oh, he's trying to be too cute. And he's gifted Spectre Dawn this rack at the wrong time, at the business end of the match. And that needs to keep running. Well, this 9 ball will take Spectre Dawn to within 1, but he really shouldn't have been having a go at this. And he has the break. And rack number, whatever it is, rack number 12. Well, this time we've had another ball in the break. And Spectre Dawn can see the one. Is he going to try and chip this in? Well, he's got enough room to manoeuvre here, and he's decided he's not risking it. Spectre Dawn was trying to just tuck that 1 ball behind the 5, got a wee bit too much on it and it squirted out. Having said that though, Semi-Pro's going to have to play some damn good shot, not only to pot the 1, but to get that cue ball anywhere where he's going to have half a shot in this 2 ball. Now surely he's got to look for a decent safety here. Well, he's going all out for it, and he's got lucky. He's got a nice little kiss in the 3, and it's all there for Hill in a minute. Now that's provided Semi-Pro can get good on the 5, and that isn't good on the 5. Because look where the 6 ball is. The 6 ball isn't going past the 8. It's a thin cut into that right middle pocket. Well, he's got a shot on it. Again, he's making himself have to work here to stay in this match. And once again, the cue ball is in that territory you don't want to be in. It's another tough one, whichever way it goes. And in goes the 7, and we are very likely here to be going all the way to that final rack decider. But this time it will be Semi-Pro that will have the break, and all he's looking for is a ball in the break and a shot. That's all he wants. And I don't think anybody's listening to him. It's back to dry break city. And unfortunately for Semi-Pro, he has got a shot, but the shot's ended up going to Spectre Dawn. But he's going to have to try and avoid that 6 ball if he can. And he couldn't. So he's come off the 6 ball, half ball, and he's left himself a long cut in the 2. Now if he gets lucky here, I don't see there's any way he cannot avoid hitting the 3 or running into the 5. And that has worked out not too bad. He's okay, he's got the wrong angle in the 3. But he might just gently roll this in and leave the upward cut down that rail from up here with the cue ball, because the 4 ball's off the rail. If he doesn't want to try doing too much, he can just run through and he'll leave it tough, but at least he'll have a shot. Well, he's gone all out for it to get the cue ball to spin over with the right English, and that is perfect. That's the brave shot to play, to go all out to get on the ball. The one I suggested was the more sort of safer route, just trying to roll that whatever ball it was in. But Spectre Dawn has grabbed the bull by the horns and decided he's going to go for it. And he's looking pretty good right now. It looks like just a gentle one in the 5 here would do. Well, again, he's going across twice. Now, how's he finished in this 6? Absolutely poker straight in the 6. There is a slight angle he can pinch if he wants to risk it. Well, he's decided to dig out the jump cue for some reason. I thought, did he play that with his jump stick there? Maybe I'm imagining it. But anyway, he's left the high cut on the 6. Cue ball running, but he's pretty much straight in, and this match should be over. Well, it was neck and neck all the way, but Spectre Dawn took his chance in the final rack, went all out for it, and he gets the prize, and he's won the match by 7 racks to 6. Not much in that between the two of them, and they may well meet up again in the final. That's provided that Semi-Pro can come through the one loss side against Capsicum. And meanwhile, Popman, having won his first match against Stefan on the one loss side, is now playing John Boo. And Semi-Pro is going to be playing Magic One in a minute or two. We'll see the handicap come up. I'm guessing it could be like 5 and out or something for Magic One. What we'll do is we'll drop in to this one loss side match and see how things are going. And Popman at the table. It's a scratch match between the two of these guys. Nothing between them in the rating. Very little between them. And Popman can just pop this into the bottom corner, or you can try cutting it into the middle. And he's gone for the cut. And he's got the lead. It's only race to 4 on the one loss side, remember. So you don't have much room for manoeuvre. You could have lost the match in the blink of an eye. And the dry break fever is going on. Nothing doing for Popman, but no shot for John Boo. Oh dear. Well, it wasn't as bad as that. He ran it into the 6, but he could clearly get the edge of that one ball. And it's ball in hand for Popman. Now, surely he can get this one into the middle hole here from ball in hand. I'm going to have to start my reserve bottle of water. That's the first one away. Well, Potman's rattled a 3 and he's hung it up. But it's still anybody's rack, this rack here, because the 6 ball's in no position where it's sitting. And it's in an even worse position now that John Boo has skimmed off the 5, knocked it in to block the 6 and then scratched the cue ball. So Potman, even though he's got ball in hand, he's going to have to work something here to have any joy after potting this 4 ball. Now he could draw to the bottom rail with inside right English to push it up, and he's put the wrong English on it. When you're actually, if you get the ball in hand and you play it the right way and leave yourself the right angle, you can draw the cue ball back, but you have to draw it with bottom right hand English. Is it bottom? Wait a minute, take my head right here. Bottom left. No, bottom right it is. Even I'm confused. Aye, it's bottom right to push the cue ball that way, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Christ, it's been that long since I've played myself that I've totally forgotten. But anyway, that's what you have to do. If you play the wrong English, the cue ball does what Potman did there. The cue ball went that way and came back that way instead of going that way. And John Boo has been given his chance. Now, can he? That looks good weight to me. That looks perfect. And he's popped it down very nicely to roll this 9 in. Now, that's, you know, it was off the rail slightly, but anyway, he's tied the match at 2 racks all. Oh dear. The scratch off the break. Well, Potman couldn't take his chance in the last rack. The table was awkward anyway. But he's got another chance, and all the balls have a pocket to go into. Now, can he get this 2 ball clean? I think he would only brush off the 4 ball. He'll still have a shot in the 3 if he just lets this run through dead weight. Now, drinking that water's giving me a hiccup. And see again, he's tried to be cute. He's tried to be cute. You've got to get the ball lined up to the pocket to start with. But if you play it at that sort of pace and you're not getting it in line, it just ain't going to go in these pockets. And Potman is just gifting chances to his opponents. It has to be said. And John Boo's having a slam at the 4. And, well, dare we say it, it's another chance for Potman. No problem with the 4. Anything but straight on this 5 ball. Well, that's not left him much room for manoeuvre. Now, surely all you do here is take your medicine, drop the 5 in, and roll the 6 into the middle pocket. Now, again, he's running away slightly the wrong angle here in this 6. But if he runs through, he might get a brush off that 8 for this 7 ball into this pocket. Once again, he's chickened out. He's just chickening out here. He's left himself in an awkward position on this 7. He's sort of half-heartedly played these shots with not an awful lot of conviction. And where's the cue ball going? Well, it almost scratched. Now, again, with this shot, if you just play the plain, normal shot, the cue ball has to be on the 9 into that middle. There's no way it can be if you play the shot and have the pace right, because you're just following a natural angle. And he's pretty much on the line. Oops. What the hell was that? Oh, that's the instructions thing that's popped up. I hit the wrong button here. My XSplit Gamecaster instructions come up. I must have hit the help button. I didn't know. I didn't know that. What one was it? Tab or something like that? Now I can't get it to work. Doesn't matter anyway. Well, it's 3-2 to Potman. Sorry, it's yeah, it is. It's 3-2 to Potman. I'm beginning to fall asleep. The brain's beginning to go. I'm working in 500 megabits of RAM here, folks. My brain, anyway. I need another couple of gigs worth. Now, just while we're in the start of this rack, we'll have a quick look at the bracket, see how things are going. And they're going pretty well for Spectre Dawn. Magic One is getting this. Is getting 7 and out, and Spectre Dawn's 2-0 up, and of course Semi-Pro. I thought their match would have started with Capsicum and Semi-Pro. I don't see anything up in there. Let's have a quick refresh here and see what happens. I doubt Capsicum's done a runner. I think Semi-Pro's sitting in that room waiting on his opponent, and I don't think he showed up. Because the game hasn't started yet. It looks very likely. Meanwhile, John Boo, trailing 3-2, first to 4, has a great chance here to tie the match up. Now he's gone. Well, he's just going to have to drop this in if he can. And now he wants a little kill shot here. A little drag off the 8. Oh, he's not read the line at all. That's a bad one. That's a bad one to miss. And Potman, well, all he should be doing is running through and letting this cue ball run. Because he's too close to the rail to try and do anything with it. You let the cue ball run so that you get it as far over to the right hand side as possible. And I don't think he could have played that much better. So this for the match. And in it goes. And Potman beats John Boo by 4 racks to 2. Right, let's see this match. Yeah, it looks like it. Capsicum has done a runner. And Semi-Pro, it's a walkover. I thought that's what's happening. That's why the room wasn't actually, or the bracket wasn't showing that the game had started. So that moves the tournament on even quicker. Potman is now going to be playing Semi-Pro, and that's the match we're going to watch next. Because again, Potman will have, what will he have? Maybe the 7 ball or something like that, or what's it showing there? He's getting a 5 ball, is he, again? And it's still showing 2-0 to Spectre Dawn. So we'll drop in and watch this Potman Semi-Pro match. Now, can Potman use that 5 ball money ball? If he can just cut out, you know, if he cuts his errors in half, he'll have a far better chance. Look to see what else is going on. There's not much. Right, so we're waiting on Potman. He's maybe gone to the bathroom or gone for a drink. So both players are in, and we are about to lag off. This is the one lost side, remember. Popman getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball, and this time again Popman has played a pretty good lag, and it's him to break off. And certainly one ball went in. Yep, the 4 ball has gone. He's got a cut down the rail. 3 ball I think goes into certainly one pocket at the top. That's a good cut. In fact, it goes in past the 8 as well. But he's going to have to work this cue ball here from this angle. Well, it's all out for the pot here. Now, if he plays this at the right pace, he'll run into the 8 ball. And that might well hold him for a shot in the 5. And that's just taking the pace off it, and that's lying not too bad. The only problem now is he's leaving himself. Well, what am I thinking about? I forgot. That's the first time I've done it tonight. I forgot about it. The 5 ball money ball handicap there. You only needed a 5, of course. I knew I'd do it. I always do it at least once or twice during the tournament. So Popman off and running. He's come up dry. And well, from this opportunity here that Semi-Pro has, he's going to have to work for it. And he's going a wee bit too much on that. Got a high cut. And got to find a sight on this 3 ball. And where the 3 ball is, that is asking a wee bit here. To find a path up the table. Well, I think he would just... oh, well, he's chanced his arm now. What a bit of luck that is. Kiss off the 7, kiss off the 8, and perfect in the 3. Who could ask for more? Might even be greedy enough to try and stun into that 9 and split the 4 and get lucky again. Well, and I think he's just going for the safety here. Just trying to tuck behind the 9. Well, he's played that badly. That was supposed to be tucked in behind the 9, but he managed to stun into the 9, and well, it worked out well in the end because the 4's gone safe. If it hadn't brushed off that 7, it was running down to the corner pocket. And how's Popman's luck? None. None whatsoever. He's hung it up over the corner. It's a chance for Semi-Pro. 6 ball goes in, no problem. And we should be back all square in a minute. I don't know whether any of you guys get a chance to, if anybody's still there, that is. I think everybody's fallen asleep, but I don't know whether any of you guys managed to see any of that that 9 ball final. I never watched any of it. I just saw the post. Where's the cue ball? Well, he did everything but scratch there, Semi-Pro. Dicing with death, but back all square. That post by Shooters Pool on Facebook, if you get a chance, you should be able to find it, and you'll see the video of that final with Mr. 9 ball in it, in the 9 ball tournament. And he's got the cue that I've always wanted in VP4. I used to have one in VP3. I can't remember who made it for me, but they made an all black cue for me in VP3, which I used to use, with the black shaft and the black butt. And you can buy that black shaft and butt in Shooter's Pool. They've now got them available. I think you can get one for snooker as well. And Mr. Nineball was playing with it. That's exactly what I want, and they just won't make one in VP4. I've asked for years. It's not as if I'm expecting to get something for nothing. I would buy the damn thing. And the whole reason I want it is because having the black shaft and the black tip helps me see the tip of the tip on the cue ball better in the game. And I begged and begged, and well, since the day came out, there's been no new cues at all in Virtual Pool 4. You go over to Shooter's Pool, there's new tables, new cloths, new balls, new shafts, new cues, all sorts. You pick and buy what you want in there. Was it Mojo that made me one? I can't remember. I honestly cannot remember who made me that black cue in VP3. In fact, I think I've still got it, believe it or not. I've got the file for it somewhere. I think I've got it on a memory stick. And I think Andy used to make cues as well, and he made me one. He made me one with a tartan butt. That was very cool. I also made one with my name on it as well. I mean, if I was any good at that kind of stuff, I would have made one a long while ago, but I haven't a clue. I've not the foggiest idea how to do any of that stuff. Anyway, we've got Popman. I'm rapidly losing my vision here. I'm falling asleep. Popman, 2 racks to 1 in front in the race to 4. And there was that other guy in VP3 who I never ever in all the years I was in VP3, I never ever saw him playing VP3. But yeah, he had his VP3 Skinner program on the VP3 website, and he made cues and stuff, but I never saw him play the game. Can't remember his name. Well, that was... I don't know what Semi-Pro was trying there. That answers on a postcard, as they say. Oh, I think he's a technical mouse glitch. Maybe the batteries are running out. But it's a gift for Popman. And Popman's 3-1 up. That's the worst thing about... If that's a battery mouse, that's the worst thing about having a cordless mouse. That's why I would never have one. I would never have cordless headphones. I would never have a cordless mouse. Simply because I can't be asked charging up headphones and bloody charging up batteries for mice or buying new batteries for mice. Always having to have batteries in the house. Sod that for a game of soldiers. Give me an old-fashioned laser mouse with a cord on it any day of the week. Well, Semi-Pro's got his work cut out now with this 5-ball handicap. He's paid the price for it there. And Popman is sitting on the hill. And he's going to have to get good on this 4 somehow or other. I think he's got the... I don't think he's got a perfect angle in this 3 by the look of it. Let's have a look. Well, he can cut it. He might as well go for it. And if he gets lucky, he may well have some sort of shot in this 5. But you've got to go full-blooded for it. You can't hang back. You can't try and be cute. Just go all out for the cut. And he's cut it into the rail and hung it. He would have had a shot in the 5. Not a very good one, but he would have had one. And so that's one chance that has gone for Popman. And Semi-Pro, once he's potted a 5, just roll the 6 in. Drop onto the 7. Yeah, that was bottom. That was bottom and right. It was actually bottom and left. I should have mentioned earlier about that shot I was talking about in the last match. That was bottom and right to push the cue ball over to the left there. It's bottom left to go right and bottom right to go left when you come off the rail when you're drawn with the cue ball. That's what it is. My mind went totally blank. I couldn't remember. But anyway, Popman hanging the 4 up. He's paid the price dearly. It's let Semi-Pro steal one back. Back to within 1. And he gets a couple of balls to break. And, well, he's got half a shot in the 1 here. Not a great one, but he's got a shot. Now, does he go all out for this? Get drawn into the rail. To get this cue ball out. Yes, he has. And he's got a nice little angle just to drop through. But as long as he gets the cue ball off the rail, he'll be a lot more in control. Well, you see, he's let it run dead to the rail. So now, I don't think he's got much choice other than leaving the long 5. He's playing this with top left. Doesn't want to run into the 9. You see, putting that English on it. And he's overhit it anyway. But he should have taken his medicine. And left it long. And Popman, well, all he needs to do is get out from that corner and get somewhere over on the right hand side. And he's going to have a straight in 5 for the match. He cannot miss, surely. Well, Popman, with a slight angle, but you could get a bus past that 6 ball for the match. And Popman wins the match by 4 racks to 2. So the 5 ball handicap certainly worked in Popman's favour in that match. Meanwhile, Popman moves through to effectively the semi-final. And he's now waiting on the loser of the match between Spectre Dawn and Magic 1. And Spectre Dawn is currently, according to that, 5 racks to 3 up. We will drop in on that match. And well, Magic 1 has kicked, but he's left a shot on for Spectre Dawn here. It looks like the 2-6 combo would be the easiest out for this next shot. Now, the problem with this next shot is the 2 ball is going to have to go there. Well, he's trying to just run it off. That's played absolutely perfectly to keep that 2 ball where it was. And this, well, this looks all too easy the way this table's set up. Drop in behind a 5 with a nice angle just to drop off the side rail or stun up for the 7. And he's got the nice angle. Just a straightforward stun or run around the corner, whichever he's happy with. And then straight through on the 7 off the side rail, back across. The only danger here is if you get it where just too much, you might run into that left middle pocket, but he's gone beyond it to leave the 8 into the right middle. And this is going to be 6-3. So Spectre Dawn is now the odds-on favourite to win tonight's Friday night 9-ball. Now that Semi-Pro has departed. And while Spectre Dawn has just broke off in the next rack, I am going to take a bathroom break. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I am back. Well, I'm back. I think all the other guys have been and gone for the night. There only was a couple here anyway, earlier on. But welcome. We're going to have the whole tournament tonight. And everything going according to plan. We should have next week's as well, next Friday's, because I'm off all next week. Thank God for that. Kind of a week in my bed. Well, where the hell do you get that name from? What the hell's wrong with Popman? For God's sake. Where the hell do you get roll cage crap? Well, it looks all over. Well, it is all over, let's put it that way. Spectre Dawn is going to be in the hot seat. And it's going to be Magic 1 versus Popman in a minute to see who gets to the final. Right. Well, the tournament's been on for, what's that, just under 2 hours. And if we look at where we are on the bracket, this bracket's taking a bloody age to update. There we go. There you are. Spectre Dawn in the final. And Magic 1 has moved over to play Popman in the one lost side, or the semi-final. And again, a race to 4. Now, surely he hasn't done a runner as well. Is he still here? Magic 1. What is it? Some of these players, they play a match and then when they lose, I think they think the whole thing's over and they disappear. Oh, there he is. He's in the room. Yeah, it does it. It does it. I've got it set for it to do it every 30 seconds. The refresh thing. Right. So we'll drop into the room. We're just waiting on roll cage arriving. And we're lagging off for the break. Haven't a clue again who's who. And Popman has won the lag. Now this match is what do you call Magic 1. Player 2 is getting the 8 ball against Popman. So it's not that severe a handicap. And the surprise is we've got a couple of balls in the break. And the only thing is Popman's got a very tight cut in this 3. Well, the thing is, that update was a long 30 seconds. Well, he's cross-banked to 3. He's got no shot in the 4. Is he going to go for the bank up and down the right-hand side? Oh dear. Cannon into the 8 and scratched. Now let's see if I don't think I've seen this Magic 1 chap. I can't remember if I've seen him play before. Where's he from? From the States, according to that. Popman from the UK, or what's known as England to any Americans watching. Oh dear, well, that doesn't give me much confidence in him. That's a poor one on that 5 ball. And this is a bit awkward, this shot, because that 7 ball is like twice the size it normally is, to try and avoid hooking yourself behind it. And he's managed to avoid it. And the thing is, that 7 ball isn't going into the top corner past the 8, so he's going to have to work the cue ball around the corner and up the table on the right hand side. Seems to be the solution here. He doesn't want to just go square across the table, he wants to force it around. And I think he's got that not too bad, but he's missed a 6. You've got to get the 6 in the hole. I don't think he had much option there with that shot. I think he was pretty straight. But he's going to have to pot a good one here in the 7. Now this is just, to me, it's just a plain ball and you run across. Where's the cue ball going? He's okay. That was risky, but he's got away with it. Just a drop in. And it's going to be first rack to Magic 1. Short race to 4. And this is to see who plays Spectre Dawn in this week's Friday night 9-ball final, which will be, well, it usually is, a race to 9 in the final. Push out has been selected. And there's a tempter there for Magic 1. Going to be difficult to get on the 2 ball though. 2 ball does have a pocket. And he's well away from that, but he's got second prize. He's got the cover. And Popman is in trouble here. An easy enough kick, but didn't get the kick. Slammed it straight into the 3 and ball in hand to his opponent. So you look at the table and you look at the simplest way out. Now, straight away, he's played that shot all wrong. I mean, why do players do that? Why doesn't he think for 30 seconds and say, well, all I need to do is drop that in, let the cue ball run through there, and I'll get the 2 into the middle. And he's just not thought about what he's doing whatsoever. Okay, he's potted the 2, but that's not the way to do it. You've got to look and see the simplest way of getting on that 2 ball, and it was just to drop that one in and leave yourself the 2 into the right middle. And you're going to get completely out of line the more you do that. And what does he end up doing? Missing the next ball. And this is why players end up being so inconsistent with their shots, because they're simply not thinking about what they should be doing on, for example, that first shot there. Has Potman got lucky here? Has he got lucky? Well, he could take the easier option and just knock the 4 onto the 7. He's got a bigger margin of error doing that. And then he's just got to hope he gets lucky with a shot in the 4. Well, I didn't see him doing that. He said a bank at the 4. There was no way it was getting into the hole because the 9 was the blocker. And he's comboed the 9. And he's got himself out of jail there with that shot. How lucky is that? He's going to say he played that any minute now. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's 1 rack all. And I've forgotten already that Magic 1 is getting the 8 ball. Well, this is a tough shot for anybody, because the 3 ball does go past the 4, but how the hell do you get that cue ball up the table to have anywhere near a shot on the 3? Well, he's blocked off. So how is he with the jump stick? Remember, the 3 does go past the 4. Still be a great shot if he can do that, but I think he was just happy to hit it. And it's given Potman a chance here now. Anything but colliding with the 8 ball here would be the order of the day. And I think he's got to draw into this cue ball to avoid that. Or if he hits this 3 thin enough, he's got to maybe hit it with... Well, he managed to do it no problem. I thought he was going to collide with that now. Is he going to go far enough? Oh, he's just half an inch short. Is he going to try the little jump? Yes, he is. And that's, well, he did everything but put it in the hole. Now, can Magic 1 steal the rack? Table wide open. And once again, you can see straight away where the problem is. There is control of the pace of the cue ball, is trusting your mouse, trusting your settings that you can judge that speed. And he's leaving himself tough shots to try and keep any visit going. And this looks to me like Magic 1. From what I've seen so far, it looks to me that if he's in challenge rooms, he's running from, like, you know, somewhere down in the 1800s, and on a good day into the 1900s, and then the next day down to the 1800 odds, purely from inconsistency. Just struggling to control his pace and get that feel. But that feel I keep going on about it is, if you work with your mouse and you practice long enough with it, you'll get that pace dialed in a lot better to give you more confidence in playing shots, that you've got better control over the pace. So it's all in Potman's hands here to get himself back in the lead. Well, anywhere in the left and right up the top end of the table, but not behind the 9, not closer to the top rail than the 9 ball is. And I think he's pretty good. That will do very nice indeed. And this will take him back into the lead. Very short race to 4. And the break is another dry one. Well, straight in 1 ball, but no shot in the 2. The 2 ball is not going past the 9. He's going to try and run it onto this 8 by the look of it. Well, that's just giving Potman an easy starter. I think he's ended up dead straight in this 3 ball. Now he can try stunning it in and spinning along the rail. And if he gets enough spin on it, he should be able to spin out behind that 4 ball. Well, he's spun in the top side of it, so he's leaving himself the higher cut, but he's still in reasonably good shape. If he can judge the pace of this right, he may well have that 5 ball back into the left middle. If he plays it really gentle pocket weight, he's going to leave it long. And he's left it long. Well, this cue ball might escape away to the right here if he doesn't get enough into it. It might end up in the top side of the 6 near the top short rail. Yeah, I think he's lining up the bank here by the look of it. Is he? Well, he's judged it well, but he's actually kissed through, and he's ended up where exactly I said he didn't want to be, on the top side of the 6, which has left him not really many options here. He's just going for distance, trying to get that 6 as close to the rail as he can. Well, I think I would go all out for the reverse bank here and try and maybe stun into the 8 ball at the same time. Because if you cut this 6 towards the 8, you're probably setting up a combo. Well, that outcome isn't too bad. It's not easy. It will go past the 8, plenty of room. That's a good shot. He's going to have to play another one. Now, I think you still have to just help this around the corner to avoid running off the end rail up into the 9 ball. You have to play it around the corner. Got to be on the 8. I see he's done exactly what I've said. You have to get into it a bit more. You've got to go into the shot more to get around the corner and avoid that 9, and that he fell short and he's left himself no shot. Always on the cards that if you don't get through that ball to help that cue ball spin around the angles, that you're going to collide with the 9. Well, he's got the second prize. He's played a good safety. I'll give him that. That's a good shot. Easy kick though, but you've just got to get lucky. Well, that is very lucky because that's going to go safe. I'll take that any day of the week. But that is lined perfectly on the middle diamond. That is a dead bank. Double bank up and down the table if you play this right. It's off the rail, so you've got enough margin of error there to line up the bank. If you don't get it straight away, you'll get the double bank every day of the week, as long as you play the right pace. There you go. His cue ball shot though. His cue ball is short. Now, well, again, you could play the double bank into that middle pocket, but you've got to hold the cue ball, stop it squirting away and scratching. Because the double bank is on again here. Oh dear, he's let the cue ball away, and it's a gift for Magic One. Popman isn't listening to me. Commentator's eye gets it again. He had to dig into that cue ball there to play the straight bank or the double bank, and he just let the cue ball run, and that's what's going to happen. And it's a gift for Magic One, and we're back all square. But straight away, Magic One's found a way to scratch. Now, when you come to the table with ball in hand like this, the first thing that comes into your head should be where's my path out here? What do I need to be doing to get out? So, if you look at the 2, you pot the 2, and if you're happy, you leave the 3 long, and as long as you get the angle off the 3, you get across to there. You can get the 4 long. I don't think the 4 goes past 8 into the right middle, but that would be the simple path. I mean, if you come down the table somewhere to here, you've got the 4 past the 9, but it's unlikely that's going to happen. But he's got to find that gap here, so it's all about pace. And then the other problem after that is how do you go on the 5? It's going to run in behind the 6. It was always going to be the problem. That cover up at the top end of the table, and Popman is in a bit of a pickle here. Well, it looks easy enough to kick it off the side rail. I don't know why he's digging out the jump stick. It looks far easier just to kick it. We can't get into that enough to actually jump that 6. Well, just didn't get the alignment. He's hung it. And Magic One, well, if he can somehow judge the pace on this, the best he's going to get is a 5-9 combo. Now, is he going to try and do too much here? Yes, he is. He's going to just try and hope he gets lucky. When the easiest shot was to draw across and leave yourself some sort of 5-9 combo. Now he's got no shot. Oh, Slim, you're awake. Oh, that might go in off the 9. Oh dear. Good evening. We've got Spectre Dawn in the final. This is the one lost side final or semi-final match to see who meets Spectre Dawn. I think Popman's locked out here. He certainly is. Well, it's easy to kick that. Well, that was terrible because the simple shot was that direction, in there, and hit that 5 full in the face and hope you kick it up the table, and he's not even get anywhere near it. That was poor. Well, Magic 1, remember, has to get to that 8 ball. He's got the wrong angle on this 6. But if he runs through, he's going to leave him some sort of shot in the 7. And he's got there, and Magic 1 is going to take the lead here unless he does something incredibly crazy other than just roll that 7 ball in. And Potman is going to pay the price for a terrible attempt at a kick out there. It really was awful. He had a much simpler and safer route to go by kicking in behind it and kicking it up the table. And didn't even look at it, I don't think. And it's cost him. Magic 1 on the hill, breaking off in rack number 6. But once again, I think it is dry. And the cut past the 6 is no problem, and the cue ball has to be going over on the left hand side. He's not going to have an easy shot in the 2, whatever he does. He's played the first part of it well enough, and he's got the cue ball as far left as he can, so at least he's given himself a shot. Now again, with this shot, you know what you have to do. You have to pot it plain ball with the right pace just to get it to the hole, and the cue ball comes up here somewhere. So you at least get a shot on the 3 from anywhere around about there. So you don't have to do anything other than pot it. And that is pretty good. And the same with this shot. You play this with a little bit of inside right, so the cue ball pots the 3. You go there and you come back that way and make sure you avoid the 9. So he's done that part of it okay. And the next part is either just roll this in dead weight or a little stun and a little draggy kill shot just to leave yourself on that 5 pretty straight. Oh, he didn't play that with a lot of confidence, did he? It got there, but barely. And this is just a stone dead kill shot. In fact, I would tend to maybe overhit this slightly, maybe even draw right up the table just to be sure. If you're not that sure that you can get the right spin on it, you see, if you do that and you do that, then you end up like that. You know, you can see these things coming. So the safest thing to do is chicken out and play the big draw, get into the big area, leave yourself in the 6. If you go that way, you can go in behind the 7. If you get it straight, you kill it. And he's now having to try and dig himself out with a jump. Well, Potman sure as hell likes to make his life tough. I'll say that for him. He got the first 2 or 3 parts okay and then fell into the trap. Fell right into it, hook, line and sinker. Now, Magic 1 hasn't got anything easy here. This is a bit ugly. He's played it well. And he's got a nice angle on the 7. Well, I think he's looking for too much here. Just, you bought the 7, let the cue ball come down the left-hand side. And the same thing again is controlling the pace. And he's actually done that much better. He's just gone a bit too far though. It's squirted away. I thought he had the pace pretty good there, but it kept running. But this, to take him into the final. And he's overcut it, and the cue ball thought about scratching. It hasn't. Well, a little bit of draw, not too much, just below the equator, and stun that in so that you can come down here and somewhere round about there. Round about this area here is where you want to believe yourself. See, he's let it just run, and I don't believe he played that for the middle pocket. You're just letting the cue ball running and hoping, but he's got on it. And we're all square into a final rack decider. Potman sure as hell's got his way of doing it. Not the way I'd be doing it, but he's done it. And the 6 ball. Oh, 2 balls have gone in both bottom pockets. 6 ball was one of them. 3 ball was the other one. No shot in the 1. But if he can thin this, he can maybe tuck the cue ball in behind the 2. Well, what's he done here? He's got it safe. He's trying to use that 8 ball for cover there. And that's not so good a shot. I don't fancy any other chances against Spectre Dawn. That's my answer. That is my opinion. There is a slim chance. Slim. That's the chance. Slim. And that boils down to Spectre Dawn making mistakes, which he doesn't make a lot of. And not only that, the mistakes that he does make, that the opponent takes the chance and gets the use of their handicap. That's what it boils down to. Because there's no doubt that whoever plays Spectre Dawn, they're going to get a generous enough handicap. Potman's missed the 4. He's got it safe. Well, here's a risky safety shot. You can only hit that edge of the 4, but if you get the spin right and get down, you can try and tuck in there. Something like that. 4 balls are going to go round about there. So the chances are you're going to leave it on, put it this way. But you've got to be brave enough to go for the safety. Don't tell me he can't see it at all. Shit, he can't see it at all. I thought he could see the 4. I take it all back. The poor guy can't see the 4 at all. I thought he could see the edge of it. Well, that was a lot tougher than it actually looked because he could not see it. He was actually hooked behind the 5. And it ended up a pretty good shot. He's pushed the 9 to the rail to play the deliberate foul. I'll say that again, the deliberate foul. And, well, he's left Potman with ball in hand to win the match. And, well, this is tough. This is a tough cut. Cue ball going to be going dangerously close to a pocket somewhere or other here. Yeah, Spectre Dawn's 2,300 odd rating, so he's going to be given a whacking handicap. Potman's tried to cut the 5 into the middle. How's his luck? Pretty good. He'll take that. You walk away from the table, pretend you meant to play it. Oh, here we go. You can see where this is going. Right, I'll away and put the kettle on, have a cup of coffee and come back. They'll still be at it. Right, I'd be going for the bank right now. All out for it. Reverse bank into that middle pocket on the right hand side. Run the cue ball and just hope I leave myself some sort of shot in the 7. No. And now the 2 players are scared to make a mistake. Somebody's got to step up to the plate and take that risk. And I'd be playing the combo right now. It's crying out for a combo, this. Just a gentle roll, enough pace to get that 7 ball moving on into the hole. And it stops the 5 ball escaping. What the hell's he doing here? Surely he's not going to scratch in the middle. No, he's tried to push it in. Well, it looks all over to me, folks. Magic 1 just drops behind the 7. And again, with this shot here, the voice in your head should be telling you what to play. You pot the 7 and you let the cue ball run out far enough to give yourself the shot in the 8 for the match. And that's what he's done. And so a roll in on the 8, just off straight, should give Magic 1 a place in the final alongside Spectre Dawn. And he wins the match. He beats Popman by 4 racks to 3. Well, tournament is now 2.5 hours old. There was only like 7 or however many in the tournament tonight. So at least it's going to be over fairly quickly. The question is whether the final will be as well. And we're waiting on... I'm surprised that room hasn't gone up. Oh, there we go. Spectre Dawn and Magic 1 are going to be contesting this week's Friday night 9-ball final in a race to 9. And I will get in and have a drink while both players arrive. Well, Magic 1's in the room, but his queue hasn't loaded for me because all I'm seeing is the butt end is the house queue. I don't think he's quite arrived in the room yet. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going back out because I don't think he's properly in the room. It doesn't look like it to me. I'm going to hang out until I see Popman go in. This queue wasn't doing anything either. Hopefully we're not going to have problems with the room. In fact, I've got a good idea, guys. While we're waiting, let's have a look in Shooter's Pool, see how many's in there. Where the hell does it tell you how many's here? What tournaments have they got? Oh, they've got the Chinese Pool Championship starting. In fact, it started. Look how many's in the lobby on a Friday night. Myself, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the lobby. That's pretty dead, I would say. When was the last time anything was said in the chat? 35 minutes ago somebody said something. Well, that shows you how dead it is in there. In VP4 we've got 49 people in. And well, the tournament, the final looks as if it's underway. Let's see if we can get back in. There we go. But I mean, imagine, you know, that, and the thing is that, you know, it's 2 Spanish guys that are running Shooter's Pool, so you'd think there'd be quite a lot of European people in it. I mean, that's there's a lot of European people have kept VP3 and VP4 going for years, but to only have 5 people in the game lobby on a Friday night is a bit dire. So just to confirm, we have a final here tonight, race to 9, and we have Magic 1 who is player 2 in the HUD at the top there, he is getting 7 and out. So that means his 7, 8 and 9 balls are his money balls. And if he can pot any of those 3 balls legally during the rack, he will win the rack. But to do that, he has to get to the table, because at the moment, Spectre Dawn is in with first shout. Well, that was a very good shot, taking that into the top corner. And well, I would suggest that Magic One is not going to get many chances, and when he does get them, he's simply going to have to get to that 7 ball, because if he doesn't, then he ain't going to win many racks here. If he just cannot rely on Spectre Dawn gifting him chances, because he won't get that many. It's a tall order for him. And so Spectre Dawn is off and running. Four ball into the bottom right, no shot in the 1. But this table, we say it time and time again, it is wide open. Spectre Dawn just looking to leave an edge of this 1 ball for Magic One. Now, I'd probably be putting him back in, and he would probably cut that 1 if he can see enough of it. And I think Magic One's going to take the bait here. Yeah, he's gone all out for it. He's got it. How's his luck? He needs to hit that 5 to kill the pace. It's running. He's still got a shot in the 2. He'll need another good shot though if he's going to have any sight on that 3 ball. It's tucked here behind the 9 at the top end. Oh, he's played that well. A helpful kiss in the 8. Is it going to scratch? I think it is. And it's goodbye to rack number 2, I think. Oh no, it isn't. What the hell's happening here? I'm falling asleep. That was Spectre Dawn. It was at the table. I'm telling you, what time is it? I'm looking at the clock. It's about 20 minutes to 10. And you should know by now, whenever I get to about 9 o'clock on a Friday night 9 ball, my brain starts shutting down. I start seeing things that aren't happening. I don't know who's playing. I was thinking that was Magic One that was at the table when it was Spectre Dawn. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's definitely Magic One at the table, and if he pots this 7 ball, he's back all square. Just a roll in. Now, chances like that are exactly what Magic One needs to take. When the balls are all there for the taking, he simply has to get them. And he's got a ball in the break. He's got a pot on the 1. Now, he's going to have to be clever with this 2 ball. Now, I don't think it's worthwhile even trying to play a combo in the 2. It's a lot easier to play the billiard off the 2. And he's not put himself in a great position to do that, I don't think. You see that? If he punches it into the rail, then he can cut the 5 in now at this angle. And he's missed the cut. That's what he tried. I thought it was far easier to leave yourself the angle to play the billiard. But then you've got no idea where the 2 ball's going. It's 6 1/2 a dozen. Oh dear. Oh, he's got a nice kiss. I thought he tucked himself behind the 8. Oh, that's what I meant to say. Anybody who wasn't here earlier on tonight, if you were late in joining us and you're still here, I mentioned it as soon as we started tonight. The World 9-Ball Championships, which, to be honest with you, in the last couple of years, nobody has really paid much attention to. And the reason for that is that originally the World 9-Ball Championships were on Sky Television in the UK. They covered the early stages of the World 9-Ball when they had it, when they started coverage of it. And then, for whatever reason, it ended up going to Qatar. The Qatar Snooker and Billiards Association organised it, and coverage was done by a streaming site, Kazoom, at one time, which for 1 year was excellent. And then after that, there was little or no coverage you could get to see of the matches. And when you did, it was only the semi-final and final matches they ended up showing, so their coverage was crap. And the WPA basically have got fed up with them, with their coverage being rubbish. They sent them an ultimatum letter to the Federation, to the Qatar Snooker and Billiards Federation, and basically told them put up or get the hell out of it. They got no response from them, and so the WPA have ditched them. And the good news is that Barry Hearn, who's the head of Matchroom Sport, who organises the PDC darts tournament, which has been a huge success, and also the Mosconi Cup, have got the rights, the full rights to the whole tournament. And it's going to be held, I think I said, was it September or October this year? It's going to be run for 4 days. There'll be females allowed to take part in the tournament, and there'll be full coverage on Sky Television. There'll be streams wherever you want to watch it. And that's the best thing that'll ever happen to that tournament, I can assure you. And you will also find that anybody who plays 9-ball is going to be in it, because there is going to be money in it. That's the other thing. The prize money will be good, and it'll be worth watching, and I'm damn sure I'll be able to find a stream of it when it's on, so that's something to look forward to. I don't know, but I mean, when the World Snooker Federation, or the WPBASA as they were known as the World Professional Snookers and Billiards Association, when they were in turmoil a while back, you know, about how it was being run, I said at the time, the best thing that would happen is if somebody like Barry Hearn came into the snooker and organised it, because the one thing that Barry Hearn, I mean, he's got the gift of the gab, he's an entrepreneur. He was Steve Davis's manager for years when Steve Davis won his world titles. So he's a good businessman, you know. He's got the gift of the gab, and he can get stuff done because he knows people. And there was quite a few professional snooker players, like Mark Allen was probably one of the best known, the Irishman, who didn't like the idea of Barry Hearn coming into snooker. Look at snooker now. These guys have got dozens of tournaments a season. The setup for the tournaments is a lot different. For many of them, there's 128 players in it. It's races to 4. And you've got guys being able to earn a living now at professional snooker. Even though they're down the rankings, they can still win money. So he has worked wonders for the darts, for the Mosconi Cup, and now he's got the chance to prove it in the World 9-Ball, and I think it will be a huge success when it comes on. There'll be coverage, there should be coverage all around the world. If you can't get it on TV somewhere, you'll be able to get it in a stream, I can assure you that. I'll have links for streams for it. There'll be no problem watching it. Well, the Matchroom Sports setup, they do it very well. They've got lots of contacts. They'll get a good venue for it. I don't know where the venue is. I'm going to look out and see if I can find a venue somewhere like Alexandra Palace, where that last snooker tournament that was on, the Masters tournament, it was held there. There was 2,000 people in the arena watching that tournament. It's an exclusive tournament for the top 16. That finished last weekend. And the Alexandra Palace is a big enough place where you can get a fair number of pool tables in it. That might be the favourite venue to actually have that event, and it'll be a sellout. Guaranteed it'll be a sellout. Anybody who's interested in pool, 9-ball especially, as soon as the tickets go on sale for it, and I mean anybody who's in pool in this country, in the UK, I haven't heard anybody say a bad word on Dave Nightside on Facebook about Barry Hearn and Matchroom taking over it. They're thinking it's a breath of fresh air for the tournament to actually give it the proper coverage it deserves, and it will get it. And what's more, the fans will come in to see it. It'll be great. I mean, I like watching. I'll watch 9-ball. You know, if it's getting good coverage and you've got the world-class players in it, and they're going to turn up. They will all be there. Whoever is a pool player, whoever you've heard in 9-ball, they'll be there. All the Japanese, Taiwan players, Filipino players, anybody who's anybody in 9-ball will be there. They will not struggle to get entrance to that tournament. Oh, what's happening here for Spectre Dawn? Disaster. He has a 4-1 lead, which could very quickly go to 4-2 in a second if he doesn't get lucky here. Because we're down to the money balls as soon as this 3-ball disappears. Well, he's got the hit and he's got it safe, and you can't ask for more than that. That's worked out very nice. And Magic One probably built his hopes up there thinking he would have a chance. And as it is, he's going to have to try and get this very thin. We need to maybe get it a wee bit harder than that, though. Yeah, he's too soft. That needed to be... He needed to be skimming off that around the corner and way down here somewhere. And he's way, way short. And his chance is gone. Nice angle just to drop down onto the 7. Where's the cue ball going? I think he's okay. Well, this is going to have to be delicate. Yeah, inside English. Inside left to check that cue ball straighter off the rail. Just to hold it for the shot in the 9. But this for 5-1. And that's another one of those sort of dead breaks where half the balls don't move very much. And what's more, it's dry. No shot on for Magic One. Well, he can have a kick at the 1. And Magic One is going to find himself in deep manure here in a second. And that is a bit of bother for him. He's got to pick that angle to kick off the 2 rails into the 1, and he's missed the second angle off that second rail. And ball in hand for Spectre Dawn. Mind you, he's got a bit of work to do here. It's a bit ugly at that top end. You just got to find the gaps. There is room there to get that cue ball in for the 3. He's got to get on the 2 first of all. Well, the little nudge. Now, can he just pot that into the top corner or the bottom corner when we're at the other end of the table, and just hold for the 3. It's a bit delicate. Yeah, no problem. Hit the wrong button there. Now, he can probably just come around behind that 4 ball for the 4 into the same pocket. And he's got the pace right. And now, well, not much you can do, just a roll through and leave the long 5. But with enough angle to come out. And he's got, well, he might try and squeeze a bit more than he might be allowed here. He needs to be careful here. If you try and pinch too much here, you'll rattle it and hang it. Well, he's left it tough. Potting into a blind pocket in the top right hand corner. But if he just draws it across, he should have the 7 into this bottom right, and didn't pick the angle. So it's not easy. It is not easy by far for Magic One here. This is tough, whatever he does. Yeah, he sent it to the jaw. That was asking an awful lot. Not an easy shot at all. And Magic One isn't getting any favours here from Spectre Dawn, which is what he needs. What he has been left has not been easy, like that 6 ball there. But Spectre Dawn has got himself, well, a bank or a thin cut again. And a nicely controlled, delicate cut shot. And, well, he might be able to run to the side rail or just draw off this. Yeah, little stun to the side rail. And this for 6-1. And I think Magic One is already at the point of no return. Unless this match turns in its head somewhere or other. I don't think there's any way back for him. But it's still a 7 and out handicap. In theory, anything can happen, but it's probably unlikely to happen. Well, you've got to get them in the hole, Magic One. You've simply got to get them to the hole and in. And that 3 ball, well, let's have a look. Well, from there it goes past the 5, no problem. Can he get the cue ball up high enough? I think he's just about there and no more. But suddenly the 5 ball doubles in size when you're trying to get the 3 ball past it. But he's found it past. Nice little cannon onto the 7. That brings it into play. Frees up the 4. Oh, he's played that perfect if that's where he played, but is he on the point? I think he's alright. Now, what does he want to do here? Does he want to put... I think he's got to just run it across, yeah. He just got enough there to use a wee bit of help and spin just to straighten the cue ball, get it across for the 8. The 9's going to drop into the middle. And it's going to be 7-1. So all of a sudden when you look at the handicap, the 7 and out looks very difficult to get to, especially when Spectre Dawn isn't making mistakes at the business end of the rack. So Magic 1 isn't getting a sniff. Oh, that's a nice little cut. If it gets there. Not anywhere near good shape in the two. Well, you would say there's no way at that angle that that two ball's going past the three. It's far too tight. That's a better one. At least he's got the two things right there. He's got distance and he's got the cover. And this is not easy to get to this two ball. But Spectre Dawn has managed to find a line. Hasn't got it completely safe. It's not an easy one. And I think even the potting angle in that too means that the cue ball's running into the 5. So he was never going to get to the 3. Well, still good chance of getting a decent safety here for Magic 1. And he's went all out for the bank, but it gets him nothing because there was no way he was going to get in the 3. If anything, he's got himself in more bother. Because he can see half of the 3 ball. He's going to run into the 9 and 5. Is he going to squirt behind it? Well, the answer to that is no. Now that 5 ball is in an awkward spot. Now that he's nudged a 9, it's not really helped it a great deal. Now, well, bear in mind where the 4 ball is. What do you do to get a shot in the 5? You've got to leave it really high and try and get a thin cut in the 5 to try and squeeze it into that corner pocket. Now, is that what he's going to try here? That looks very thin. Oh, that's perfect. Of course, the other problem is running into the 9. You can't get good in the 6, but the bank is on. The banks are open, guys. Cue ball going over to the right-hand side. Is he going to go for it in a single shot, or is he going to hope for the double bank? Straight in, no messing. Right hand side, straight on the 7. And this is a perfect example, well, so far it is, of a player getting 7 and out, which everybody would think, oh, he's got a great chance against Spectre Dawn with 7 and out. Well, this proves that when the higher rated player is playing pretty well up to his standard, then he is not missing very much. Consequently, he's not leaving many chances, if any, at the business end of the rack, and Magic 1 isn't getting a shot. And when that happens, no matter what handicap you've got, you ain't going to get many racks on the board. And that is the chief reason that Spectre Dawn is sitting on the hill at 8-1. And I just stood my mic cable and unplugged it. So the tournament has been on for exactly 3 hours. We are 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Started at 7 o'clock. And as soon as this is done, I'm going for a coffee. Yeah, I mean, there's many a tournament like this that we've seen where 9 ball goes in the break, that'll get respotted. The cue ball gone as well. No, cue ball's there. But there's plenty of tournaments like this where the higher rated player is making mistakes at the business end and just leaving the guy with a handicap just one ball to pot to win the rack, and then the matches are much closer. But when the actual player is playing to the standard that's expected of him, then the other guy will just not get any look at the money balls. He won't get anywhere near them. Which is why you end up with a hefty scoreline like this. It's just a perfect way to prove it. But it doesn't happen every week. You know, sometimes the balls will just not run for you. They won't run into line. And the higher rated guy can find himself in trouble. Maybe in 2 or 3 racks. But consistently through this match, Magic One has had slim to zero chances of winning racks. Well, that's a pretty good safety again from Spectre Dawn. You see, and I think he has to try and get behind that 7. Yeah, I don't know if the angle was there, but that might be Magic One's last shot in the tournament tonight. But the only lifeline is the 4 ball. The 4 ball is awkward, but Spectre Dawn has ball in hand. He's just plotting what he's going to do here. Well, it looks as if he's going all out for the 4-8 combo. He's nowhere near perfect position to play it, but I think he'll have a go. In fact, he's not even going to have a go. And Magic One at the table, shot in the 4. But can he get to that 7 ball? He's got every chance of doing it if he can drop onto the 6, but he's chickened out a bit again. Now that cue ball should have been up here. It should have been there. He's left himself the bedhead cut again, and he's got it. And he has a shot in the 7 to win his 2nd rack. Well, at least that gets him a couple of racks on the board. It's now 8-2. Magic One breaking off in rack number 11. The 2 ball has gone. And, well, let's just say he's got a shot in the 1. He's pretty much staring down the barrel on the 1 ball. And he needs to get somewhere up the table for a shot in the 3. Well, there's traffic at the top end of the table that he has to avoid. He's avoided it. The 4 ball will go past the 7, no problem. And if he misses the 6, well, he's run into the 6. He's still got a shot, but he's got the same problem. Can he avoid? I think he can avoid hitting the 9, but he has to be brave to play the right shot. Well, he's chipped it, and the 9's done him a favour. So now it's all about potting the 6 and doing the right pace on the shot to get up here. Anywhere here will do. And I could have done with a bit more just to make it a wee bit more comfortable for this 7. Well, it's 2 in a row. It's now back to 8-3. And Magic 1. It's dry again. The 1 isn't cutting. Now, is Spectre Dawn fancying the run into that corner pocket and avoiding the scratch in the middle? I think he is. And can he just hit the knuckle? Well, he's not risking it. He's just going to keep it safe. I don't think it was on. Oh, this is going to end up nice. That was a nice little jump shot. Now, it's the little drawy stun right across to the left for that 5 ball. I don't know whether he can hold it. Oh, he's... Well, I think he almost... Well, he has overdone it. But he's still got the pot. He's not going to have an easy 4 ball. Now, well, he can't go across to the right. That's no good to him. He's going to have to force this in and come back across twice and get in behind that 5. And a nice kick. That is perfect. That's an excellent shot. Now, can he back it all the way? He cannot fail at this stage in this visit, surely. See, he's played that draw shot, but he's got there. He didn't need to play that. But just another good shot somehow or other to get on this 7. And that will do nicely. Well, what is going to happen here, folks? It is 3 in a row by the looks of it for Magic 1. Well, if anything, he's at least making the score look a wee bit more respectable. And he's got it back to 8-4. But it's dry again. He's getting no luck in the break. And that break shot, I am going to say right now, is probably Magic 1's last shot tonight. Definitely this time. Because it's wide open and there is no excuse for Spectre Dawn here. There's nothing to defend him if he doesn't run out this table here. This match is over, folks. Well, we had the little cameo there of 3 racks in a row for Magic 1. But unfortunately, he's done nothing wrong in this rack other than break the balls and they come up dry. And Spectre Dawn was left with a shot. And, well, the job is done. The money's in the bag. Start the engines. Spectre Dawn is about to leave the building with not too much winnings in his pockets, but he's won the prize, and he wins tonight's Friday night 9 ball by 9 racks to 4 against Magic 1. let's have a quick look and a final look at the bracket. And we'll see that, well, the winner tonight, Spectre Dawn, gets $560. And who's sending me a PM? I'm busy. And Magic One gets 280. And that was it. There was only 2 spots that paid out tonight, folks. There was only 7 in the tournament, and that's why. So, with that, I will say just a quick reminder that I will be back here next Friday. I'm off all week after tomorrow anyway. I'm back at work tomorrow, but I don't start till late, which is why I'm still here tonight. But Friday night 9 ball next week, I will be here. We should have all the tournament come hell or high water. And I will see you then. So thanks, guys. Thanks for your company. Thanks for staying with us. And I will see you again soon. So I'll bid you good night.